Sup guys, TheAnimeLogician here, and welcome to my first ever video on the summer 2022 anime tier list, and this is going to be me rating a lot of these anime from perfect to garbage. Now then, I've seen a majority of these anime here, and I've seen bits and pieces to some anime here. There's 26 titles here, and that would be very problematic if I had to rush into all these anime and have only 1 or 2 months to enjoy them. Now, I'm going to use the best of my knowledge to put these where they deserve to be, and hopefully no one gets offended or salty. With that being said, let's get started. First off, we got Lucifer and the Hammer Biscuit. Now then, this is a really bad anime. The fight scenes are fight slides, the animation actually is terrible, and character development is nowhere to be seen. I actually thought, due to the plot, this would have some potential, and apparently I got my hopes up for nothing. Next up, we got Black Summoner, and this is a mediocre isekai. There's nothing original about it. It's pretty bad, and I just could not enjoy it. If anything, it was boring, and I don't hate isekais, I tend to love them, but this one was just terrible. Next up, we got The Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2, and this is a 8 out of 10. It's been 8 years since we've gotten Season 1, and I am glad that we got a Season 2. Now then, the reason why I didn't put it any higher is because some people are actually pissed about the light novel ending not being true to the anime ending, and some people did not like the fact that the ending of the anime was false. So yeah, take that up with the light novel community, and hopefully things are figured out. Next up, we got Like Chorus for Coil, and a lot of people were bagging on this anime, saying it was horrible. Some people only liked it because the fan service and that the plot made no sense. You know, what would 2 girls be doing out at night, shooting things, breaking things, etc., etc.? But then you have to realize, think back to the question, this is an anime. Nothing about it is real, so why would you try to put some emphasis of reality into an anime when that legit makes no sense? This isn't even a slice of life anime, so trying to put that kind of knowledge towards this is kind of ridiculous, not gonna lie. Next up, we got The Maid I Hired Recently is Mysterious. This is another mediocre anime. There was nothing great about it. The animation was perfect, but everything else about it was somewhat average or boring. I finished this anime at around 2 in the morning, and I thought to myself, wow, this is extremely boring. Why am I watching this? Next up, we have Engage Kiss, and this is another 8 out of 10. The animation was perfect. Honestly, it reminds me of Date A Live, and that's because I think some of the people that were working on Date A Live were working on Engage Kiss, so that doesn't surprise me at all. Had a lot of potential, and then you got Nafume from the Shield Hero, Nafume 2.0, and it's like, what's he doing cheating on all these, girls and cheating on Ralph Tally? It doesn't make any sense what's going on. Next up, we got Call of the Night, and this is one of the first anime I've seen that was actually perfect. Now then, I knew it was going to be perfect, and it had a lot of hype because a lot of people in this Discord I'm in with actually would not stop talking about it, and some of the people actually had profile pictures of the main characters. And to my experience, when that happens, a lot of people tend to like the anime, kind of like what would happen to Attack on Titan. A lot of people considered it perfect. So of course, in my opinion, Call of the Night is a perfect anime. Next up, we got The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. Now then, this is a pretty good anime. It was very kind of ridiculous, really. At first, I thought to myself, what would the Yakuza be doing babysitting a child when the Yakuza are pretty much a group of thugs, You got these tattooed guys carrying katanas, pistols, doing a lot of illegal criminal activity. And then you have this little girl that's with them, and all of a sudden it's just that they're babysitting her. And it's just, wow, that's just really out of nowhere. Next up, we have Parallel World Pharmacy, and this show was actually very wholesome. One of the few isekais I did not hate, and that's because it wasn't generic and it was very wholesome. So honestly, I believe it deserves an 8 out of 10. Next up, we got Ruby. So back then when I had seen Ruby around 2014, 2015, it came to my conclusion that the animation for this anime was somewhat kind of bad. You know, it was like they gave the budget for this anime a $11 animation fund, and it was just terrible. But then all of a sudden it got picked up by a studio and it became better. If anything, it's a 7 out of... No, it's still above average. I was going to say it was good, but then I realized that some of the characters didn't have actual development. Some of the side characters were missing development. Some of the plot was literally everywhere. So if anything, it went from being below average to being above average just because the animation got better. Next up, we got Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World. This is a below average anime. Now then, the only difference between this anime and a lot of other isekais is that the guy gives his slave the business around episode 4. So pretty early on, the guy wants to dominate his slaves, and it just becomes a crappy show afterwards. You know, it's nothing really special. It's just really below average. Most people only watch it for the fan service, so who cares? Next up, we got A Couple of Cuckoos. This is a anime I would consider great. Honestly, I don't know why, but I just think rom-coms are just really great stuff, you know? Next up, we got Rent a Girlfriend. This is a good anime. Some people were saying it's good, but it's also trash. You know, it's like... What are you trying to say? Is it good? Is it trash? What is it? And for me, I came to a conclusion it was good. You know, it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't like extremely god-awful like some anime here. But it was good. Honestly, I was surprised. At first, I hated the anime, but then my friend told me to give it a chance. So after he kept bugging me for a while, I decided to give it a chance, and here I am, you know, rating it, calling it good, etc., etc. Next up, we have Reincarnated as a Slime 2.0, except it's mediocre. This anime, there's nothing special about it. It has its points where it's funny, but aside from that, there's nothing really great about it. It's just a copycat of Reincarnated as a Slime, and not even a good one at that. It's just really terrible. Next up, we got Summertime Rendering. This is another amazing anime. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really great. At first, I didn't really see much potential in it just from what it looked like. But again, don't judge a book by its cover because this anime was actually amazing. Next up, we got When Will Ayumu Make His Move? I'm going to say this is another good anime. Again, rom-com. I know. I love my rom-coms. Don't judge me. You know. Next up, we got Shadow's House. This was actually pretty great, too. Then we got Danmachi Season 4. Don't hate me for what I'm about to say. Season 1 and Season 2 to me were filler. And then Season 3 made the obvious choice of, you know, basically putting out there that Bell was weak when he was defeated by the boss at the end of Season 3. And I don't see how people did not assume, wow, he's weak. You know, we didn't get that from the first few seasons, but yeah, he's weak. So to me, I didn't actually get much out of Season 2. There hasn't really been much difference. So to me, this is kind of like, you know, above average. Well, I guess it's a good anime. I'm not gonna pit it up with Ruby. That'd be somewhat disrespectful, and I would not want that. We got Classroom of the Elite Season 2. We got the badass protagonist. We got the good ass plot. We got the good intro and outro. But then we degraded the animation, making it basically not perfect anymore. And I consider this a great anime, just not perfect. Next up, we got Made in Abyss Season 2, and this has always been a perfect anime. I remember in the 2010s, a lot of people hyped it up, and the hype was legit. It was a great anime, it was perfect. I actually watched it, and I found it to be very enjoyable. Next up, we got Food OP, and this is from the series of Kamen Rider. Very popular in Japan, very popular within its pop culture. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. If you go on my Right now, you'll even see that my rating for it's accurate, as it was given a 7.50. So at this point, you can call Fudo P a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Uncle from Another World. This is actually a really great anime. It's an A plus for me. It's amazing. It's not S tier though, so we're just gonna keep it at amazing. Next up, we got Tokyo Mew Mew. Okay, so originally I had seen this on 4Kids TV when it was on 4Kids TV. This was back like what, 12 years ago, maybe 13 years ago. I don't know. Not my cup of tea, but I will say it is a good anime. It's way better than Ruby and these other piles of garbage. Next up, we got My Stepmom's Daughter Is My Ex. So, watching this anime and hearing it for the first time ever, I, caught some vibes from it, some vibes I'd never want in my house, because those are some weird-ass vibes that you'd find in Alabama. But yeah, nonetheless, I thought this was an above-average anime, so it is what it is. Next up, we got Vermeil in Gold, and this was an average-ass anime. Aside from the fan service, everything else about it wasn't that great. Again, people only watched it for the fan service because, hey, big mommy succubus with huge milkers, and yeah, everyone must like that and think that's a good thing. Next up, we got Overlord Season 4, and I've never had an issue with Overlord. Some people are saying it was C tier or B tier, but honestly, I thought it was A tier, or I'm sorry, S tier. I believed it was perfect. To be fair, Overlord has been building up and building up, especially to this time where in Season 4, Ainz Al Ghul is building up his castle and recruiting humans, monsters, etc., trying to grow his army and basically build a society where humans and monsters can actually, become one and reunite under one flag, which is the Ainz Al Ghul flag. So yeah, this has been my tier list. Surprisingly, there hasn't been really any animes out there that were considered extremely garbage. Lucifer and the Hammer Biscuit was actually pretty close of me to actually calling it garbage, but there was maybe one thing about it that was decent or maybe good. But aside from that, everything else here is rated to where I believe it deserves. I was thinking of giving Lycoris Recoil a perfect score, but I don't know. I haven't finished it yet. I just believe that, people were kind of trying to bomb it and basically call it a fan service the anime, which it really wasn't. And again, trying to put realism into anime is kind of moronic, but again, that's just my opinion. With that being said, hopefully you enjoyed the video and the tier list as well. If you have any comments, please comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.